goes to jail for dragging this. That's the epitome of it right there.
Okay, so give me first and last name, spell it out for me.
My name is John Schmitt. I'm a sergeant with Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigations Division.
Can you spell out your name, please?
SCHMITT.
And Mike is M-I-T.
John.
I'm sorry.
John Schmitt.
I don't know, I got Mike. Anyway, let's go ahead and go over what happened here. What were you guys called to?
At approximately 9:45 this morning, patrol units received an MVA call to this residence. It's the 14,400 block of Westlake Road in Splendora. Their initial information was that they had a auto-pedestrian with a disturbance. As they went en route to the scene, they received more information that the suspect vehicle was leaving the location at a high rate of speed. As the unit started to get closer to the area, they were able to locate the vehicle and stop the suspect. He was detained maybe about a mile from this location. He is at our Criminal Investigation Division now being interviewed by detectives. We have 3 victims from our information that we're receiving in the investigation now. The suspect, his girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend has been staying at this location. He's been around this location a lot this morning trying to either see her, talk to her, make sure she's here. There were several witnesses that were at the location, and at one point he makes contact by knocking at the door, and then he comes in, forces his way into that residence. He gets inside the residence. The homeowner goes to retrieve her gun. He exits, gets into his truck. 2 of the male victims that were outside, he has an altercation with. He strikes them with the vehicle, runs them over, then backs back over them a second time. We have a female victim that was also involved in the injuries. She comes out to try to break up the disturbance. She's assaulted with a metal object, which we believe to be a tire iron. The suspect then gets in his car after assaulting both males with the tire iron as well as the female, and leaves the location. And like I said, he is in custody at this point. All the victims were transported to Conroe Regional Hospital, and one of the males has died as a result of the injuries. We have not been able to make notification to his next of kin, so I'm not able to release his information. Our suspect's name is Eric Holder. He's a white male, 44 years old, and he's still being interviewed by detectives at our Criminal Investigations Division at Conroe.
Does he have a record?
That I can't tell you. I know that he was handled he was involved in a disturbance 3 days ago with his girlfriend from that was at this location during the offense. But as far as an extensive history or a history, I couldn't tell you at this point.
Can you tell us what their argument was about? We had heard that he wanted her to leave with him. What was going on there?
Like I said, 3 days ago there was a disturbance in Grangerland where they reside. My understanding is that she left to come over here, what she calls a safe haven, with her girlfriend, who is one of the victims that was assaulted. It's her parents' house, and so she's over here. I don't know if she's hiding from him or what, but he's obviously found out that this is where she's at and has been, I wouldn't say stalking, but at least over here looking for her most of the morning. So I don't know what that particular incident was about 3 days ago.
And with the car, you said, can you describe was his car backing up, or what direction was it facing? How did this happen?
My understanding was the suspect had pulled it's a white Tacoma, pulled into the driveway, and as he's leaving, the 2 of the male victims were standing in the driveway, and he struck one of them while the other one was attending to the one that was struck. He pulled forward and hit him, and then, like I said, and then at that point he backs up, and the female comes out of the house to try to intervene to help break up the disturbance, and then he exits with what we believe to be like a tire iron or some metal object, using that to strike not only her but both of the men that were struck with the vehicle.
And what do you think Holder will be charged with now? Because, I mean, someone is dead because of what he did.
He will be charged with murder and probably 2 counts of aggravated assault.
Good.
Once Eric takes off this way, right? And
Right.
how did you guys handle that? Did you give any chase or?
Well, vehicles responding to the call identified that as as the potential suspect vehicle. So they went ahead and attempted to make a stop on him. He was driving straight at one of the patrol units. I don't know if he wasn't aware or was preoccupied with something in the car. He was eventually forced off the road. He gets out and explains that he was here, and from the initial information from that patrol deputy, learned that he's going to be our suspect.
And where is he from?
He's from Montgomery County, I mean, in this area.
Okay. Big city.
I don't know exactly if it's Splendora, if it's Conroe. I told you he lives in Grangerland. That's where him and the girlfriend were residing. Where he's from, I couldn't tell you that.
I'm good.
His daughter, out of the kindness of her heart, wanted to bring her home and to help her.
I went in to speak with her, and I'm sure she will too, because she's scared to death right now, even with the ejection fraction she has left in her. All she wants is sick. But I mean, if you want that talk with her, I think she needs to be able to let you know too.
We can certainly
Sure
ask.
she is. I mean, she is scared, but welcome to the meeting.
He was backing out, and they were walking to make sure he was getting off my land. And he gunned the engine and came forward and rolled over both of them, and then he went backwards over them again. And
Did you see this happen? So he backed over them.
he hit them first forward and then backed over them again. He was headed straight in my driveway, and they were walking toward the truck.
Okay.
Then he hit them head on with the truck, but they went under it, and then so he backed out over them.
I mean, I can't even imagine what was going through your mind.
I was just terrified because he stopped and jumped out of his truck with the tool iron, and he started beating these boys with it. They were on the ground, and went after my daughter and hit her in the back of the head, and she went to the ground. When I started running toward the house to get away from him because he started swinging that at me, coming at me with it, and I couldn't even get in my house because he was on top of me and pushed me through my front door and was just, threatening me with this tool iron that he was going to hurt me with it. And he got to the middle of my kitchen and turned around and left and got out of the house because I was going for my gun.
How did you make him leave in the first place? Because he was there and then he left, and that was when
He came
hit those
back.
ones. He came back. Why do you think he came back after deciding to leave?
He was just in a rage, I guess. And
Can you describe his state of mind?
it was a rage. I mean, there was no talking to him. He was just grunting and carrying on, trying to hit everybody with this tool iron. And all I needed to do was get my grandkids and make sure they weren't seeing any of it, and they were locked up in the house.
What was his relationship with Stina like? I mean,
Stina?
he was
She could probably tell you
obsessed.
more
Okay,
than that.
maybe that's more of a question, but
What was his relationship with her?
right. They were exes.
Yes.
Were they husband
No.
wife?
They were just
No.
living together.
They were just living. Okay.
Was he more of a jealous
And
type?
it was her he
Yes.
was coming after, but she was in the shower, and
And of course, he just saw you as
she didn't see any of it.
obstacles, maybe. Okay. Okay.
And your name one more time?
Evelyn Eden.
Okay.
First and last name, spell it out for me.
Vanessa Hornsby, Vanessa
Okay, go ahead and just talk to me about how you first met Stina, how this whole thing happened.
How I met her?
Mhm.
I met her a while back through a mutual friend. And we just started hanging out.
Okay. Your dad said it was on Facebook. Was it on Facebook?
No, but we got together on Facebook all the time, but no, I met her at a mutual friend's
No
house.
mistake.
Okay, gotcha. So you met her here then. I heard she was originally from Tennessee, but she had already been here when you
Mm-hmm.
met her. And what did you guys connect on? How did it lead to her living at your house?
Well, her relationship with Eric got really violent, and I just wanted to help her out. I mean, I've been through that a lot with my husband and things, and she's so young, and I just wanted to help her get out of it, because she was trying to get away from him, but she just had nowhere else to go.
And so this, I don't know if it was an obsession with her. Can you describe his state of mind and why he just wouldn't stop coming after her?
He was in a drug rage this morning. It was very obvious. And he thought that my friends that had stayed the night with me were there to see her. And so he got real jealous and upset because she wouldn't go outside and talk to him.
Can you describe your experience when, I mean, from the moment he came in and, you know, demanding to see her to everything you did to get him out and to help your friends?
Yeah, I mean, I just told him, you know, you need to get off the property. She doesn't want to speak to you right now. She said whenever she, you know, is a little bit better, she'll come out and talk to you, but not today. So you need to leave. He left, and then he came back, and he was complaining that his truck wasn't running right, and he needed something to do with four-wheel drive. And he asked us if anybody knew what was wrong with it. So my friend Aaron walked out there to talk to him about it, and that's whenever he backed up and then ran him over.
I mean, can you imagine what was going through your head when...
I thought, this can't be real, this can't be real.
Your friend Aaron is the one who passed away?
No, James, my friend James was the one who passed away.
Can you describe more what happened out there? I mean...
Well, after, you know, he was just walking out there to tell him how to switch it over. And then all of a sudden he just backed up and then drove over him. And then I don't know, I'm not quite sure about backing up or anything like that, because it just happened so fast. And I came out at the gate instantly, and he slammed his truck in park, got out with a tire iron, and since I was trying to get to them to help him because I could see all the blood and everything, and they weren't moving, he started smacking me with it in the back of my head. And then the front of my head right here, every time I got up, he would smack me back down, so I couldn't help him.
I'm sure you've never... I don't even know what goes through your mind when something like that happens. I mean...
I just kept screaming for them to get my kid, you know, make sure my kids are okay. Get in the house, Mom, get in the house. And then I went over to help them finally, you know, when he got his truck and left.
And your friend James, is there anything you want to say about him?
You know, he was a really good, I didn't know him for very long, but he was a really good kid. And he actually pushed Aaron out of the way so he wouldn't get hit, but it ended up hurting him even worse. And I mean, I tried everything I could to stop the bleeding on his head so we could try and save him. He was just a really young, good guy.
How old was he?
He was 26, I believe.
And how old are you?
I'm 29.
Anything for the future? I mean, he's in custody now, but do you have any concerns about him, about what could happen?
As long as they don't release him, I don't, you know. He's a danger to society. He needs to be locked up forever.
And what about Stina over here? Her future, what are you guys thinking for her, how to help her?
I'm not really sure. I want to get her back to Tennessee where her baby is with her parents. But it's kind of a complicated situation.
We're going to try to work with her. I talked to him about it.
Is there anything you want to say about domestic abuse? I mean, it sounds like you've had experience with it. You've been through it today. Anyone else who's...
young ladies out there when you start noticing it?
You know, when the signs of abuse starts coming up, it's time to just get away from them because it's not going to get any better. It only gets worse. And there's other options out there, and it's just not worth wasting your life over because you are going to end up dead eventually when you keep going back and back and back. And there's lots of places out there and a lot of people that will help young people to get away from it.
And today was a prime example of that, would you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Car thing, I just want to make sure I have that. Aaron, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How did the car, what happened with the car? I mean, if that up in front?
No. Well, I mean, he backed
He's
up.
gonna try to talk to you.
Is it okay if we talk to you?
Yeah.
I'd love, if you could say a few words about James as
Yeah.
well, especially since girl held the microphone.
Okay. Basically, the truck backed up, and we thought he was leaving, and then he just punched it, you know, going straight forward, and my buddy James pushed me out of the way and actually saved my life. He knew I have a son about to be born, and he just kind of pushed me out of the way, and he took the blunt force of the truck and got pinned underneath the tire, and the guy threw it in the park and came out with the tire iron and just started attacking him.
And you as well.
Huh? No, I don't know why he didn't come after me. I guess because I was underneath the truck and he couldn't see me. And whenever I finally like started coming to, that's whenever I seen him attacking her and James as well. And you know, he took the sharp end of the tire iron, you know, and got James behind the head. And then she was trying to help, and he just started smacking her like she was silly, you know, with the tire iron. And I mean, it all happened so fast. He took off, and you know, we tried to save him by, you know, controlling the blood from his head, and he just begged us. He was like, "Don't, you know, Aaron, lay with me. You know, don't let me die alone."
Oh.
But I mean, he died a hero. I mean, he saved my life, and it won't go for granted. I just want to tell his sister and his parents, you know, I'm so sorry. We had no idea any of this was gonna happen. We were just going fishing. You know, we're just, you know, hanging out. We're gonna take the kids and play, you know, baseball. We had no idea he was gonna come over here and.
And the worst part is you didn't even know this guy.
No, never met him before a day in my life. Neither did James.
Can I get your first and last name?
Aaron Lord.
How do I spell that?
AARON, LORD.
So it sounds like, okay, he was backing up. He pinned him underneath the tire. The tire was on top of him the whole time?
Well, after he hit me, I kind of, you know, went out for a little bit. But she came outside, and she's the one that seen James pinned underneath the truck, because as soon as he hit us, I guess I slid underneath the truck, and he pinned James with the tire and then threw it in park and got out. And I guess because I was underneath the truck and James pushed me out of the way was the only thing that saved me.
So what, did he run over James multiple times, or no?
No,
It just seems
he
like
just, when
backed up.
he backed up, and then he just gashed it and ran over him.
Yeah.
When he did, James pushed
Were
him,
you guys
and he
standing
went
in front or in back of the?
in
No,
front.
we're in front.
He was walking out there to help
Yeah,
him.
because we thought he was leaving,
I gotcha.
and then he just punched it and came and hit us.
And it actually pinned James. James went under both tires, and then it pinned him up against the rocks in the garden. And
Because he backed up.
yeah, he
Went forward.
and he backed up.
Oh, see, I was running out there. I don't really.
I got hit so hard.
I saw
God.
most
I
of
know,
it,
I'm
but
sure
I was
you
so
were not
scared that
even-
I needed to get to them, and he wouldn't
So
allow
he
me
backed
to.
up, pretending to go, and then he went forward, and then you're saying he backed up again and then went over him.
He had him trapped
I
up
hope
under
this
the
guy.
Tell the family on this. Tell me what was their reaction to something? I mean, did
They
disbelief or what?
they had time, I guess, to grieve a little bit. I mean, they took it the best way that you can find out that your son was killed.
And what was his name?
James.
James. What was his last name?
I don't want to disclose that.
Okay. Okay. First of all, name.
Clay, C-L-A-Y, Eden, E-D-E-N.
Clay, tell me your reaction when you got the call this morning.
Well, quite frankly, I was feared for my wife and my family and my grandchildren. Did not seem like I could get home fast enough. I just was overwhelmed with the fact that what if I didn't get home fast enough? I provided them with all of the things that I think any family member would want to provide their family members to protect themselves and defend themselves, and give them the right information on how to distance yourself. But with things that happen like this as quick as it happened, I think that anybody that's seeing a family member or a friend injured has no other options but try to act upon them if they've got the fear of God in their life, because you know as well as I do that we're not going to leave. I spent a lifetime of my career saving people,
And I have no doubt that my family members grew up the same way, working the business I did, that they felt the same way. They weren't going to leave injured people alone like that to experience those type of losses and those points in their life that may be their last moments, and not leave them alone, you know.